Hey guys, the Wood Craftsman here, and I'm doing another review on another pneumatic automatic air compressor tank drain. There's not a whole lot of videos out there on air compressor drains to begin with, and I thought I'd kind of do some reviews of some different drains that are available out there. The last one here I'm going to try is made by the same manufacturer that makes the electronic drain that I have in right now. It's branded underneath Tsunami, made by Suburban Manufacturing, and this one's also called a Moisture Minder. This one is pretty popular along with the Conrader valve. However, this one you're starting to see on like new Champion packages. Champion for a while I think had their own pneumatic auto drain, and then I think they started using the Moisture Minder as well. To my understanding, I thought that I read someplace online that the Champion one was no longer available, but I could be wrong. But anyways, this one works off of a pressure differential again, so I'm going to use the same signal line that's controlling the Conrader valve to control this one. So let me open it up here and show you just what comes with it. So you get your basic instructions, nothing too fancy, and then the valve itself. You'll probably, some of you guys might actually recognize this one, but here it is. So you have a signal air going into here, and then you have your purge inlet right here. And so this is where your condensate enters. And on the bottom here there's a little, looks to be a 1/4 tap with a little pilot hole, and that's where it actually purges. And I'll see if I can find the actual images on Google that show how this works, but I know on the inside here, and the manufacturer has a video on this as well as how this works, but basically it's just a check valve system that works with a pressure differential. So to my understanding, this valve right now is sitting idle, and when the compressor starts, it sends a signal air into here from the centrifugal loader or the pressure switch, and it basically pushes a piston this direction. And what that does is allows moisture to bypass and fill up in this tank. So you're using a little bit of air pressure to push the moisture up into this reservoir, and when the compressor shuts off and the signal is relieved, that piston pushes back and it shoots out the condensation. So you got a little bit of stored energy in here to help push the moisture out. It's supposed to be a zero air loss. So that's what they claim, and I might actually have the directions messed up, but basically it does work with a pilot signal from a pressure switcher or a centrifugal loader, and uses a little bit of air pressure from the compressor itself to push out the condensation up into this reservoir. Like I said, once the signal is relieved, then it basically valve resets and shoots the condensation out this porthole on the bottom. And these are typically mounted up on top, kind of on the mounting plate by the compressor, but they can pretty much be mounted anywhere. So what I'm going to do to mount this one is I'm leaving the Conrader valve on there right now, and unfortunately I don't have a push to connect T, so I'm just going to disconnect the Conrader valve for the time being. I'm going to remove the electric drain and put this in place the electric drain is, so this one will actually purge the condensation from the compressor as well as the oil water separator. So alright, I'm not going to record the actual process of removing this, but I'll show you once all said and done, and we'll do some cycle testing. Alright. Okay, I've disconnected the Central Pneumatic Harbor Freight valve. That's the identical one to the Conrader valve. And so I took the pilot valve, or the signal line from that one, because I didn't have a push to connect T that I would need for it to operate both of them. So I've disconnected that one right now, and I have the Moisture Minder pneumatic drain set up now. So basically here was the electronic moisture minder made by Suburban Manufacturing, and I just basically had unthreaded it from this nipple here and threaded the pneumatic version in there now. I still got the electric one hooked up. I'll probably disconnect it because I did cycle this one once and it actually worked really well. So the blue line on the left is the air signal line from the centrifugal unloader, and the two blue lines on the right, one is from the compressor tank and the other one is from the oil water separator. They're both at the same pressure, and they have been draining with the electric drain, so I see it working with the pneumatic drain as well. So I've drained the compressor down to about 120 pounds, so it's got about 50 pounds to fill up. So we'll see what happens here. And I've got that opaque discharge line just tied to the bottom here, so I doubt we'll see any moisture there, not from this run, but this is just kind of show you how it works and kind of give you my opinion on the end here. So alright, this drain does not cycle until the compressor stops. So it takes the air pressure from the centrifugal unloader. When the centrifugal unloader closes, it sends air pressure into here, and that basically opens the valve and lets the condensation run into this reservoir here. So, alright. So that was it. Don't know if I see any moisture there or not. I see a little bit on the floor here, but yep, it's a little bit wet. Not very much. So yeah, that's I'm going to keep this one on for a while, and maybe I'll do a follow-up video to let you guys know how it's been working after, you know, maybe a couple weeks. Unfortunately, I did a lot of sanding before I had time to put this drain on, so it'd been nice to have actually had this on before I had to do a lot of sanding. I had to sand a big raised panel back, which took me about 20 minutes. So the compressor was running pretty hard, but that'd probably been a little bit better test. But like I said, I'll keep an eye on it, and I'll show you guys, maybe I'll do a follow-up just showing later on as far as how well it's been working. So the key will be to make sure that there's no water accumulation in that drain or in that water separator, and then I'll also check to make sure that the compressor drain is dry as well. So yeah. So that's it for now on the Suburban Tsunami Moisture Minder, pneumatic moisture minder drain valve. And like I said, I have a video on the electric version as well. I actually got a couple of them. So both made by the same manufacturer, made here in the United States. So we'll see. This one, this pneumatic version, is actually pretty popular. So well, all I can do is keep an eye on it, and I'll see moisture on the floor here. So it doesn't really spit as much as I thought it might, but it definitely purges more than what the Central pneumatic valve did. So Alright, I'll keep you posted, and but yeah, I'll probably do a follow-up review on this and kind of let you know if everything's working the way it should. So, alright, thanks for watching. Questions and positive comments are welcome. Thank you.